Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. With this tutorial, home lab setup with Raspberry Pi 4B, I'll be talking on the topic connecting to Raspberry Pi 4 via SSH. These are the things which we will be covering today. What is DHCP server and what it has to do with our Raspberry Pi? Comparison between IPv4 and IPv6, configuring firewall policy, why DDNS, and we'll be scanning IP for Raspberry Pi to connect. Finally, we will SSH into our Raspberry Pi. Let's talk about DHCP server. A DHCP server is a network server that automatically provides and assigns IP addresses, default gateways, and other network parameters to client devices. So here client devices are the devices connected to your internet service provider router like JioFiber, Airtel, etc. With DHCP server in place, after a certain period of time, the address assigned to any device changes automatically. So we will be using DDNS to be able to resolve this problem. Here we will come to know about IPv4 and IPv6. So IPv4 is 32-bit IP address, whereas IPv6 is a 128-bit IP address. So IPv4 is the one which I have written there, and IPv6 also you can see. You might be familiar with IPv4 as it is mostly used, but we are going to use IPv6 now because IPv6 is accessible outside my network area in my JioFiber router. Next, coming to some technical points, why IPv6 over IPv4? So IPv4 space is limited and nearly exhausted. It is not possible to get millions of IPs when nearly all of them are continuously connected. In future, everyone will shift to IPv6 because obviously the space is virtually inexhaustible because it is alphanumeric. You can see numbers along with the alphabets. That's the main reason. While in IPv6 protocol, the address mechanism is done by IPv6 protocol itself. It does not require any protocol to do so. IPv6 protocol is more secure than IPv4 protocol, and in IPv6 we do not require NAT, which is network address translation, which in term of IPv4 we require the translation to be done. Let's have a quick demo configuring firewall. So you can see here I am in my internet service provider's configuration page. I'll simply log inside in, and as our Raspberry Pi is powered on, so we'll try to see all the IPv4 addresses and IPv6 addresses which are already connected to our devices. So in my case, I know what is my IPv4 address of Raspberry Pi. So this is the one. So we will be configuring our firewall settings, firewall policies, because otherwise we will not be able to SSH because our firewall will block us. So in default policy, allow always. In IPv4 firewall rules, you can see I have enabled it and allow always, because here we have the options to block always and what are the services which you want to block or allow, because I have configured it for all the services. That's why I have used any. You can use any specific service if you want to. Mostly we will keep in mind for IPv6 because IPv6 is available publicly outside our network area we can access. So we will allow all the inbound and outbound actions. So we'll click on add new. Similarly, as we have done for IPv4, inbound, outbound, and this is the service as we will be SSH into our Raspberry Pi, so we will at least turn this on, and keep in mind to enable HTTP and HTTPS also, but in my case I have enabled all the services. So it is up to you what you will be doing. We are configuring firewall policy so that people outside our network will be able to access our Raspberry Pi, as you have seen what we have done in our internet service provider configuration page. As I told you that we will be using DDNS to resolve problem for DHCP, so we will see things here. Why DDNS? DDNS, most commonly known as dynamic DNS, is an automatic method of refreshing a name server. Example, you can see example.duckdns.org, inside which we are going to assign our IPv4 and IPv6 address. So the example.duckdns.org will remain as it is, and behind that our records will get updated. So the benefits are, it can dynamically update DNS records without the need for human interaction. It is extremely useful for updating IPv4 and IPv6, which is 4A records, when the host has changed its IP address. In our case, we will use DuckDNS as our DNS client because it is free. So this is the official DuckDNS page. We can sign in. So after signing, I have domains already configured. So this is the dashboard, which will look something like this. The domain name, and this is the IPv4, and this is IPv6, which is clearly mentioned over the column. And the main reason of choosing this one is it is free, and we have something called API to update our IP addresses. So this is very useful if you are configuring a service which will update your IP addresses, which is very great in my case. So I'll go with DuckDNS. As our Raspberry Pi is already powered on, we will be using a tool to scan for IP address to SSH. So I'm talking about Advanced IP Scanner. Just download it, run this as a portable version. You can install it, but I'll be running it as portable version. Click scan to get list of all devices connected. So here we will click run portable version. No installation needed. I'll click and run. This is the dashboard which we will be getting. We will click on scan to scan all the IP addresses. So I'll be skipping to the end. So our scanning is now completed. Here, in few of your cases, you will be able to find manufacturer as Ubuntu or Raspberry, but in my case, it is not mentioned here. So what I did earlier is I was using this tool to SSH into all the IP address which I am aware of. Otherwise, you can disconnect everything and only connect your Raspberry Pi to so that you can easily identify your Raspberry Pi's IP address. So you can directly SSH from here. I'll click on SSH. Your login will be Ubuntu and default password is also Ubuntu. So you can see we have successfully logged in into our Raspberry Pi. So there is a way to use terminal to SSH as well. So let's see how to SSH from a terminal. So I will just SSH here. So this will be SSH space Ubuntu your username @ your IP address. It will ask for your password. And that's great. So we have successfully logged in into our Raspberry Pi. You can see the welcome screen. So as you have seen, we have successfully accessed our Raspberry Pi using SSH. So that's it for today's tutorial. We will meet soon. Please like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Once again, thank you for watching. Bye.